Hey everybody, it's Mega Blue Charizard, and today we are reacting to Dragon Ball DC: The Super Saiyan Saga Part 2. And now, yeah, so let's get this reaction going. I gotta set up the camera. Here we go. Wait! Excuse me.
What? Raditz? Are you done training, brother? It's time to go fishing.
What the?
Be right there. Just gotta go say bye to Mom first.
Kakarot ran into the tiny farmhouse. It felt extra
Wait,
small
how are they-
as of late,
How are they in the
especially
camp farm?
with Raditz around. Nothing like when he was a boy and could go hours without seeing another soul. It was so good to have the place feel this alive. Kakarot found his beloved mother in their rustic kitchen. Sometimes it was as if she never left. But he had no objections to that, as long as she kept whipping up delicious meals and baking amazing treats.
Hey, Mom, we're heading out.
You boys have a nice time. And don't forget to take this now.
Martha handed Kakarot a gigantic picnic basket to take
But
with him.
wasn't Martha
lucky
Kent died
if it
before
didn't
the story
sink the
began?
thing. Kakarot smiled as he hefted the basket over his shoulder. He shouted a
I
cheerful
am
goodbye
confused.
to his mother as he rushed out the front door and down to meet his favorite fishing partners.
Come on, Clark. This might
Okay, he's gotta be in.
Kakarot now.
The farm boy caught up with the pickup truck, hopping in the back with his older brother as Jonathan Kent drove them to the large pond that served as a poorly kept secret fishing hole, deep in the back country outside of Smallville. The three had a lovely time fishing, or rather, attempting to fish. Kakarot and Raditz quickly found themselves in a brotherly quarrel over the food Martha had sent along with them, and the two being Saiyan siblings, their quarrel quickly erupted into a full-on battle. From the skies above to the very depths of the fishing hole, the two duked it out. While neither went all out, the powers they had achieved training together daily made even a light bout an awe-inspiring battle.
You've never beaten me before, little brother, and this time won't be any different. The bacon
Yep.
sandwich shall be mine and mine alone.
But bacon's my favorite.
You say that about everything you eat.
Well, they're all my favorites.
That's not how favorites work. Double Sunday!
Hey, cannon!
Jonathan had grown used to all this spectacle. He
Okay,
simply sat
Kakarot
in the small
Kent
bed,
has got
letting
to be in the
shockwaves
trance
of
for
the
this.
battle unfolding around him rock the farmer quietly to sleep, not even noticing the bobber on his fishing line sink deep into the water. These fishing trips were rarely any success, but Kakarot thrilled in them. Any chance to spend time with Jonathan and to spar with his brother, who was always showing him the path to a new level of strength. This truly was the perfect life he'd always dreamed of as a boy. So perfect, in fact, that he truly couldn't imagine anything better. As evening began to set in, Martha watched down the lane and saw the old pickup carrying her three boys home. It pulled up next to the house, beside a sleek black Lamborghini that looked about as out of place in Smallville
This gotta
as
be
a
Batman.
hell of a biscuit. Kakarot recognized it instantly and leaped from the bed of the pickup, running inside.
Bruce.
It's good to see you, old friend.
Bruce Wayne, the
Did they
one
change his
and
voice
only
again?
Batman, sat in the kitchen of the Kent family home. Martha was setting out plates for dinner, of course, being sure to use the good china, since they had such a fancy guest. Jonathan and Raditz soon came into the house, and everyone sat down for a nice home-cooked dinner. Kakarot kept everyone
this is
entertained,
interesting.
telling stories about their fishing trip.
Did you actually manage to catch anything out there?
Nope. I was just having too much fun with my brother and Pop.
If by fun you mean eating all the food, then yes, we had a lovely time.
Clark's good at a lot, but he's never had the patience for proper fishing.
Huh?
All this fighting you two do. Does it ever make you miss the hero business?
Not really. Raditz is so much like me, but keeps getting stronger. I couldn't have dreamed up a better challenge.
You'll surpass us all one day. Thanks to my training, of course. I might even teach you my double Sunday.
The double Sunday. Is that the attack you used to destroy Bloodhaven and to kill my boy?
The room went dead quiet at that moment. Kakarot looked at his friend in shock. Raditz stood up in an instant, preparing to pounce at the brash remark. Jonathan, however, was on his feet first. He gave Bruce a stern look.
This boy has been through a lot now, you hear? You're a guest in this home, and I won't have you talk like that, understand? I think it's best for you to go home now. Clark, see your friend out.
Kakarot rose and escorted Bruce out the front door. As Bruce walked down the wood steps into the yard, Kakarot stood under the lone light of the porch, his family remaining inside, but still visible through the screen door. The Saiyan was hurt so deeply by the remark. He had no idea where it came from. This all felt so wrong. His best friend being so harsh to his brother. They'd moved past this a long time ago. Or he thought they had. Kakarot's memory was never the best.
Why would you say that, Bruce?
I can't believe you. I thought I actually got through that thick skull of yours. You were ready to become something more than a fighter. An inspiration, a true hero. But look at where you are.
Bruce, it's family. This kind of chance. We never had it before.
And why do you think that is? Wake up, Kakarot.
Ooh.
Brother, come in.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Exile. Once he's gone, we'll spar. Work out all that negativity he's brought up.
Kakarot turned to go back into the house. His family was waiting, and it looked so warm and inviting. Bruce could stay in the cold night air. It was where he belonged. But as he reached to open the screen door, Bruce spoke up again.
This may be the kind of life you think you want, but men like you don't get that. It may be what you deserve, but the world needs you out there. Not in here. And you know it.
Clark, come in, son. That man's upset your mother now.
I go by Kakarot now.
Something about this was all wrong, but he couldn't quite tell what it was. Jonathan's comment about how upset Martha was, however, that tipped things. Kakarot reached out to try and sense his mother, but he only felt what he always did when he thought about her. The memory of her key, but not a new living one. He wanted to run inside, to embrace this family. Something in him screamed to do just that. But now that his senses were active, he could feel that something wasn't him. The urge to obey, however, it was immense.
Go ahead. The world's strongest, resigned to a quiet life on a farm, one where he'll never want for anything. What a challenge that will be.
At those words, the martial artist resigned himself to a soul action. He opened the door and grabbed his family in his arms.
Ma, I've missed you so much. And Raditz, I'm glad at least you're here. You didn't have to be alone.
Brother, what are you doing?
Clark,
We just never got to know each other is all. I'm sorry about that. I can feel this thing now, though. I know none of this is real, no matter how much I wish it could be.
Kakarot began to cry as he tapped fully into his senses. He could feel the outside world now, and knew all he needed to do to reach it. Simply overwhelm this weight on his chest, push with a simple amount of power, and clear it. But to leave this fantasy behind was agony. Kakarot concentrated his energy, powering up to his limits, but his base wasn't enough. There was no escape through sadness, so he let it turn into rage. In a burst of fury, the Super Saiyan tore through the mental grip of the Black Mercy. On Warworld, Kakarot erupted into
Oh my
the
god!
golden
The
aura
thing
of
that you use in
as
Superman!
Broly pulled the writhing plant from the martial artist's chest. He had been trying to for the last few hours, but whenever he used too much of his strength, he could feel Kakarot's life slipping away. Mongol had been trying to stop Broly, instructing Baragus to order the boy at first, but even that didn't work. Broly was focused on saving this new friend, who he had only spoken to briefly. He refused to make the same mistake he did with Flash and Mera. Their example, the example of the Justice League, had inspired Broly to take a stand, here and now. But the torture Kakarot had just experienced was beyond description. The Super Saiyan screamed in rage
Here we go.
as he shot forward in a burst of power and grabbed Mongol by the throat.
What did you do to me?
I fashioned a prison you couldn't leave without sacrificing your heart's desire. It must have been like tearing off your own arm.
Burn!
Kakarot blasted Mongol with what felt like a condensed supernova. The tyrant was formidable, but a Super Saiyan was beyond his comprehension. He coughed up from scorched lips, still very much alive despite the damage. He threw a punch with all his might, but the Super Saiyan battered it aside with just a second's fall. He was playing out more power. His anger was making him forget his training, and his muscles were beginning to swell, raising his strength dramatically.
Is he going to grade 2?
With his speed. Yet here, it made no difference. Mongol wasn't an opponent who required something like that. A kick crashed against the martial artist's temple, and the only one who felt any pain was Mongol. A single punch of the gut was all it took to take the fight completely from the tyrant, allowing the Saiyan to hold him once again like the garbage he was. The warrior charged an even larger blast that would have vaporized Mongol, had Kakarot not just noticed the mass of people that were now watching them. In the time Broly was trying to save Kakarot, the people of Warworld had finally seen a task that their champion could not accomplish, and were mesmerized. Now, they saw a golden god holding their ruler like a helpless child.
Kill him! Kill him!
Oh, Lord.
Yes! Kill him! Deliver my son and I from his wicked rule. Then you can lead us. A new Saiyan Empire can begin right here. Led by the warrior legend, the Super Saiyan.
The rage of the Super Saiyan roared inside the martial artist. No, not the Super Saiyan. His. Just his. His failure to save a friend. His failure as a son. And his failure as a hero. He wouldn't repeat those same mistakes.
I'll be right back.
He would change.
Sorry, I had to do something.
He would try to be better. For Bruce.
No! I'm not here to kill or rule anyone! No one is! My name is Kakarot Kent. I am the Super Saiyan! And I decide what that means! You are all fighters! You don't live to fight for what someone else tells you to! You make that choice on your own! You've got to improve on your own! No one here is a slave! You're warriors!
With his final declaration, he tossed Mongol to the ground. The fallen tyrant's fate now left to his once enslaved people.
Phew! Was that a little too much? Honestly, I didn't really know what to say. I much prefer action to talking. And by the way, what's with all the weapons around you?
I was trying to save you. Mongol wanted me to stop. I do not think his weapons worked.
The pair shared a laugh, finally having some small relief, only for Kakarot to realize that the strange creature that was controlling him had now taken to Mongol. He thought of removing it, but realized Mongol could never free himself from the creature's poison dream. Broly searched for his father, unable to find him in the chaos. At first, Kakarot was confused as to why Broly seemed so desperate, but Broly explained some of their history to him, as it had been with Flash and Mera. Kakarot, however, was a little more simple in his mindset, and decided that he sounds like he should have trained and got out. The two were different in their views of family, but after the ordeal he went through, the martial artist did understand how it could feel to want something better from a relative than they were in reality. Back home on Earth, Luther found subject GO01152213477 stooped over a table, intently staring into a microscope.
So this is where you've been. You realize you were supposed to be in the training room 10 minutes ago.
I completed the drills you set. Look, it's the cross-section of the grasshopper's nerve ganglia.
I'm well aware. I went through a dissecting phase at your age.
No, there's a reason. Look, turn up the magnification. That small green anomaly along the edge of the nerve?
A virus.
Exactly. I've been running through some tests, and I think I can use this to make a cure, and maybe stop it, in case it affects the species.
And where exactly did you find this poor victim?
Well, I might have went to his farm. But it's okay. I made sure no one saw me. I was just curious.
You went behind my back against my express instructions.
Yep.
To pursue a pet science project? It seems my lessons are paying off. Nice work. Just remember one thing. That power, the possibility of fixing mistakes found in the world through science, that's control. Your mind can let you bend and change the balance of nature how you see fit. That's your real weapon. That's what makes you a threat. Just make sure you're smart enough to know who to use it against. Don't disobey me again.
Back on Warworld, the Saiyans continued to travel across the arena, finding massive battles erupting from the slaves freeing themselves. Kakarot and Broly jumped in, helping where they could, unwittingly turning what would have been a short-lived riot into a true rebel movement, their numbers growing by the hour as the two travelled across the expanse of Warworld. Kakarot even took the time to teach some street urchins how to defend themselves along the way. Broly copying the hero's displays of punches and kicks just as eagerly as the small children. Their journey to find paradise was beginning to be a lost cause, and eventually, Broly asked Kakarot what he wanted to do here on Warworld. Kakarot explained to Broly that he'd been searching for a way home, and Broly quickly responded that Mongol had a hangar full of ships that he'd either bought or stolen over the years. Running past the erupting chaos of a revolution, the two Saiyans eventually managed to arrive in the hangar bay, only to find Paragus piloting an old Saiyan pod, preparing to flee. Seeing the pair, Paragus instinctively activated Broly's restraints, causing the Saiyan to drop to his knees instantly.
Oh no, this is bad. This is bad.
Kakarot looked at the restraints in confusion. Something that simple shouldn't have an effect on the power he felt from Broly.
Really? I didn't think something like that could hurt you since you're so strong.
Broly curled up like he always had, ever since he was a boy. But Kakarot's words made him realize something. Something he should have figured out a long time ago. He wasn't a boy anymore. The weapons that Mongol had used contained much more power than these restraints. He realized what hurt so much in that moment wasn't the pain of a shock, but the betrayal conditioned in him by his father. Broly rose slowly to his feet, no longer whimpering like a child, but standing as a Saiyan warrior.
I will not be controlled. Ever. Again.
Broly shot towards his father and grabbed the space pod out of the air before it could escape. He clutched it, struggling against the engines till they bent to his fury. A lifetime of rage at his father was now unleashed. He dug his fingers
Oh,
into
he
the
did the
pod
exact
and
same thing
ripped it
as the
in two,
movie Broly did.
catching Paragus before he hit the
I
ground.
need to stop dropping that
Kakarot
remote.
saw the energy fuming off Broly and rethought his statement back in the ring about being able to take him in a fight. But he had gotten to know Broly quite quickly and was sure that the big guy just needed some calming down.
Hey, Broly, no matter what's happened, I feel like it's no big deal.
What?
Everything that's happened here, it'll all turn out fine, I'm sure. Just look at everything we saw on the way here. Besides, your pa isn't all bad,
Kakarot
right?
has seen the best of people.
The old
always.
warrior was in awe at the
Yep, it's recording.
simplicity behind the myth's words. He had been told the Super Saiyan lived for war, for death, and for violence. Perhaps this had been the lie of the king as well. Who could trust legends spoken under his rule? Despite wanting to be free, the general had still acted on Moorworld like he had always done while serving under King Vegeta. The prophet of the Saiyan race was speaking to him, and only a fool would hold on to the words of a failed king when faced with a legendary god.
The Super Saiyan. In all my years, I thought it was just a myth, just like my own boy. You should kill me, Broly, for all I've done. I never expected anything more from this life but to see the warrior of legend appear before you. You deserve more than this. You are destined for greater. You should rule the universe.
Father, I will not serve you anymore! I do not want to rule or fight. I just want...
It's fine, Broly. You don't have to answer to me anymore. Go. Find your own fate.
Paragus was sat on the ground, exchanging only a glance with Broly before blasting off back into the heat of the chaos, joining in the erupting world-scale revolution. The old warrior had made this planet his home. He would live and die here on his own terms.
You okay? I never really got to know my dad that well. We could try and go back for him.
No, I've said enough. We gotta improve on our own, right?
Right. And that's why I gotta say goodbye now, too.
Broly looked stunned as Kakarot stood beside another ship, each Saiyan now having their own transport.
A friend once told me I wasn't doing enough to help people. I was always focused on fighting, and he was right. But I always thought I'd have to change to be more like him. I realize now that I don't. I don't have to help people like my friends do. I can just be me. A lot of people don't know much about their ki or making their own choices. I think I can help them. So I can't go back home. The Saiyans caused a lot of pain, and if I really am the Super Saiyan, it's gotta be my job to fix some of it.
But I wish to learn from you too. I do not think anyone else could help.
You met Flash, right?
Broly was surprised at the statement, but now things began to click in place. This Kakarot must be from the same place as his other friends, the one Flash sent to bring him back.
You were their friend too?
Yep. And I bet you're wiser than you think. You stood up to Mongol and your dad all on your own. So for now, we'll go our own way, and you can tell everyone on Earth that I'm alright.
I think I could do that. If you want me to.
If you want to. Friends help each other out, not because of orders.
That sounds nice. We are friends then. Friends who will meet again?
You betcha!
The doors of their respective ships closed, and thanks to the friendly voice-controlled autopilots, the Saiyans were able to actually take off at all. Waving goodbye, the two blasted off, one destined for Earth, and one headed to try and change the galaxy.
Where would you like to go first, Master?
How about the most exciting planet you can think of?
Setting course.
Ha! That worked! Alright, here I come!
Hey all, if you enjoyed
Alright.
this, then be sure to